Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball tonight under the open skies here in Southeast Texas. It's the Houston Astros meeting the Cincinnati Reds. Good evening, everybody. The roof is open. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays, and the Astros opening a new chapter. They got their first win under Dave Clark Wednesday night. It was an exciting one. It prevented the Cardinals from clinching here, JD.
Yeah, good win for Dave Clark. Good win for the Astros, breaking that long losing streak. Final weekend of baseball here at Minute Maid Park this year. The Astros taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Have not seen them here in quite some time. Here's a breakdown of the Astros at home this year. They won 14 of 26 series, highlight sweeps of San Diego, St. Louis, and Philadelphia. 8 times walk-off winners here at Minute Maid this year. The 9th consecutive season with a home winning record. 34-20 here since June 1st, second best in the NL. Obviously, it's been a rough go on the road, but still continuing to play solid baseball here at home.
And coming up at Minute Maid Park, it is Brian Moeller making his last home start, trying to throttle the Cincinnati Reds, who have lefty Matt Maloney on the hill. We'll be back to see Game 1 of this 3-game set in just a moment. On Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by Busch Beer, by your Texas Ford dealers, and by Jack in the Box. Good evening here in Houston, and a lot of sports activity in this area. Cloudy but comfortable, and the roof is open for the first time in months. The Reds have not been here since April when they won 3 of 4. Reds are 10-3 against the Astros with 7 straight wins. Here is their lineup. Brian Moeller will be facing this group tonight. It's Drew Stubbs leading off in center field. Paul Yanish of Houston at shortstop. Joey Votto at first base. The cleanup man at second, sacker Brandon Phillips. With Beaumont native Jay Bruce in right field, Vladimir Valentin in left, Juan Francisco at third base, Ryan Hannigan the catcher. Matt Maloney is the pitcher.
Well, veteran Brian Moeller works for the Astros tonight. Ryan really throwing the ball well of late, but he hasn't had much to show for it. Overall, 8-10, 4.86 ERA for 27 starts. League hits .291 against Mo. Not a lot of run support. You see 1-1 with a 3.12 ERA in his last 6 starts. Defensively, help will be provided by Lee Bourne and Pence, left center and right infield of Keppinger, Tejada, Matsui, and the big Puma. Chris Coast gets to start behind the plate tonight.
Dave Clark's club going out after a win after dropping 2 of 3 to St. Louis here. Final home series of the season, as JD mentioned. 10 games remaining for Dave Clark's club. 4 in Philadelphia, 3 in New York on the final road trip of the year. And on this good evening, it is Brian Moeller and Chris Coast teaming up to try to stop the Cincinnati Reds.
It's Brian's first look at the Reds this year. For his career, 2-4 with a 5.22 ERA. Pitched against them a couple of times last year. Won both starts he made against Cincinnati in 2008. There's FM, Fred Moeller, his dad's initials. It's a ritual he performs before every start.
Brian was traded by Detroit to Cincinnati in the 0-2 season. Pitched for the Reds for a portion of that year. And now it's Drew Stubbs with 8 homers leading it off. Taking strike one. Stubbs with a .265 average has driven in 15 and scored 23. Drew, 24 years old, from Texarkana, Texas. Lives in Atlanta, Texas. And went to UT. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike to Drew Stubbs, who's had the opportunity to play center field with the injury to Willie Taveras, who's healthy again now, but Stubbs is not relinquishing his hold, and he's hit 2 homers against the Astros.
They played well in that series in Cincinnati on the last road trip. He's got a little pop in his bat. He's a speedy guy, so he can hit for a little power, steal a base for you. Comes up empty here on the off-speed pitch from Moeller.
Inside on Stubbs, and the count is 2-2. Moeller shooting for win number 9 of the season, making his 28th start. And misses with the breaking pitch to go full on Stubbs, with Giannis waiting next. Moeller started 29 games with Detroit in 2000. This is the most he's had since then in a season. And he gets him on strikes.
Brian's been pretty darn dependable this year. Typically doesn't pitch deep into the games, but 5, 6 innings of 3-run baseball, the norm for Brian. Usually keeps his team in the game. And with little run support, that 1-loss record would be better than the 8-10 that it stands at now. A couple starts left for Brian, so he's got a chance to finish 500 or better. And I guess just one more probably, eh?
Mm-hmm. Paul Giannis looks at strike one. Giannis, a .216 hitter with 1 homer, has 14 runs batted in, but he's lit it up to the tune of 389 against the Astros pitching staff. Moeller missing that one a little bit, goes to a 1-1 count. The Astros have about 11 or 12 people in uniform who have been suffering from some sort of upper respiratory illness. Jose Cruz is not here tonight. He's the only one in uniform who's not at the ballpark. The other guy's trying to fight through it.
Yeah, I wish I'd gotten a memo on that. I would have stayed out of the clubhouse today. I didn't realize that until too late.
It's not really the flu, but they're saying that it's, congestion, runny nose, problems of that nature. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Giannis. So Mark Bombard, who's been managing AAA Round Rock, will be coaching first base. Breaking pitch, tap foul by Giannis. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Paul. A good defensive player, but against the Astros, he's been more than that. He swung a good bat. Had a 3-hit game September 15th in Cincinnati. Had a couple of hits here off Mike Hampton early in the season. Had 3 doubles in that game in Cincinnati. This fly ball sends Michael Bourne back to his right. 2 down for Moeller.
Maybe a little bit of an adjustment for the outfielders, for the Astros in particular here tonight. First time playing with the roof open in a good long while. Typically the ball carries better with the lid off. Not particularly breezy tonight. A little humid. The ball usually carries in conditions like this. Reds, they're playing their best baseball of the year. They're really playing well lately.
They've won 4 in a row, 8 of their last 10. They just swept the Pirates in a 3-game series at Pittsburgh to open this road trip. Joey Votto's on a 6-game hitting streak, and he selects the breaking pitch and fouls it for strike one. Moeller's throwing a lot of sliders and curves here early. 314 for Votto, 22 homers, 76 runs batted in.
Reds 21-10 since August 23rd, second only to the Red Sox. Their pitching has been very good.
They want to crowd Votto and do, but he takes it. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Votto really hits the pitch away with authority to left center field. Dusty Baker has watched his first baseman hit 22 homers and 32 doubles. That set it up after coming inside. Moeller goes with the off-speed selection away for a 1-2 count now.
Now Votto's a smart hitter. He gets fooled here on a dandy of a changeup. And that pitch right there is why Bryant has been better against left-handed hitters this year than righties. But Votto, the Astros have seen a lot of him this year. And he knows that they're starting to pound him in with fastball. So that time he was trying to cheat. He was looking in there. And so game on.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Handles the ball middle away very well, and he handles the ball up very well.
Moeller's done better against lefties. J.R. Tolles is among those who are not quite 100% with the illness sweeping through the Astros clubhouse. Chris Coste playing for the first time in several days. Gets the catching call tonight. Tap foul. Still a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Cheo Cruz was at that dedication of the new academy, the Urban Academy, this morning and feeling bad. And then he called in, was feeling even worse this afternoon. So the Astros told him to stay home. Foul away. Well, it's been a busy day on the Astros front. Not only that groundbreaking for the Urban Academy at Sylvester Turner Park. Dave Clark was there giving some pointers. With Troy Hawkins as well on that Urban Youth Academy, which will serve year-round the youth of that area in Houston. Well, that was a big event this morning. And there were activities there this afternoon for the kids on those fields as well.
I wonder who invented the shovel of dirt toss, the ceremonial shovel of dirt. Egyptians, maybe, when the pyramids were?
Good trivia question. That's toward the wall in right field, and Votto hits it about 8 rows up for a 2-out line drive homer. Number 23 for Joey Votto gives the Reds a 1-0 lead and gives Votto a 7-game hitting streak.
And he's just such a good hitter. He battled some injury problems this year, anxiety issues, but a very talented young hitter, centerpiece in that Reds lineup. Let's see what he gets here. Looks like they're trying to throw a little cutter, maybe a slider down and in. Earlier they were trying to crowd him up and in on the hands with the fastball. This time they go with a breaking pitch down and in, and he just really uses his lower body, the way he dropped his legs to stay on that ball. Pretty impressive.
1-0 Reds. Brandon Phillips follows. Phillips with a big cut. As strike one, he has 20 homers, 95 driven in, and a .280 batting average for Phillips. Phillips has hit safely in 13 of his last 14 games, 364 over that stretch. This is his career high for runs batted in. It's 1-1. Moeller 2-4 in his career against the Reds with a 5.22 ERA. There's the way the infield and outfield align themselves. Broken bat roller. Tejada to his right. Goes out Phillips. It's 1 run on the homer by Votto, giving him 77 runs batted in, and the Reds are off and winging it to a 1-0 lead. Dave Clark tonight. It's Michael Bourne in center field. Miguel Tejada's the shortstop. Lance Berkman plays first base. The left fielder's Carlos Lee. Hunter Pence is in right field batting fifth, followed by Kazuo Matsui at second base. Jeff Keppinger at third base. Chris Coast the catcher. Brian Moeller the pitcher. Michael Bourne leading it off against the big left-hander Maloney, listed at 6'4". He delivers, and it's strike one to Bourne. 289 for Michael, and we see a 1-4 season for Maloney.
Yeah, those numbers there represent his entire major league career. Coming up for the first time this year, working 6 times for Cincinnati.
Rolled out to second. Brandon Phillips just got enough on that throw. He was backing up, but he got the ball there just slightly ahead of Michael Bourne for out number 1.
You think about all the infield hits Michael Bourne has this year, and all the, wow, they just barely got him, and what could be. Not to mention the man, they blew that call. He was really safe, and I'm not saying that this is one of them, but it's happened on occasion this year. That could have gone either way. Dave Clark out there. That's good practice. Out there and get after an umpire a little bit.
Bourne thrown out by an eyelash for out number 1. Now it's Miguel Tejada. Tejada has already broken his own record for hits by a shortstop for the Astros. 304, 12 homers, 79 driven in. Leads the league in doubles with 44.
There's 2 ways that conversation went with Dave Clark out there and Delphine Colon at first base. One was, hey, you sure you got that right? I thought he beat it. You sure? Yeah, I got it, Clarky. All right. Or 2 might have been, he was probably out, but I haven't argued with an umpire yet, and I'm going to come out here just to have a little fun and let my guys know that I'm going to argue for them on close calls. All right, good. We'll see you later. Clarky said no to that one, so it's A.
Fly ball behind second. Brandon Phillips calling. 2 down. Tejada retired. The Astros getting their first look at Matt Maloney, drafted by the Phillies in the 3rd round in 2005. He's from Huron, Ohio.
Well, and here's the help he'll get tonight. Valentine, Stubbs, and Bruce cover the outfield. Roland, Janish, Phillips, Votto the infield. Janish, Houston area guy, very good hands at short. Ryan Hannigan, a good defensive catcher, is the backstop for Maloney. And not Roland. Roland was scratched. It's Juan Francisco down there at third base tonight. Roland's got some back spasms.
Lance Berkman with 23 homers tries to do what Votto did. And there's strike one as he gets the big hook. He has 74 runs batted in, a .268 average. Hitting only 200 against the Reds despite a career .328 average against them and 47 homers. Lance rips one. It's hooking, and it's a high drive outside the left field line. Way up for strike 2.
Home runs have been an issue for Maloney here at the big league level. He's only thrown 33 2/3 innings so far, but he's allowed 8 home runs. 2 in each of his first 4 major league starts. And it's just out in front of this one a little bit. But he's a fly ball pitcher. He's a good changeup, good curve, not a real hard thrower.
1-2. Berkman has 5 homers in his last 11 games. Maloney pitched at AAA Louisville last year with a 4.68 ERA. Missing, he goes to a 2-2 count with Carlos Lee on deck.
9-9 with a 3.08 at Louisville this year. And there might be room in that Reds rotation for a lefty next year.
Full count to Berkman.
Unless they make a trade, it looks like Harang, Arroyo, Johnny Cueto, and Homer Bailey, and then perhaps room for one more. Maloney hoping he can be the guy.
This is start number 7 for him in a Reds uniform. Berkman to center field. Stubbs. 3 outs. And it's 1-0 Reds.
press level, I want to get everyone involved tonight because we're going to have a poll question for you, and it's on Facebook.com. That's /Fox Sports Houston. The question is very simple. What, in your opinion, was the greatest team the Astros have ever had? We have 4 choices for you. They were all very, very good teams, 1980, 86, 98, or 05. And you can
86.
find this on the left column of the Facebook page where it says FS Houston Poll, and that's all you got to do.
86.
JD offering a subliminal coughing type.
JD is trying to vote for teams he was on, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I want to see him vote, though, first. Let's get to that Facebook page, JD. It's easy to find once you get to Facebook.com. So we want to hear from you tonight and give us your views on who it is. We'll check in later during the game.
Jay Bruce has fouled off that pitch to go to 0-2 in the count. The Reds leading at 1-0. Bruce healthy again after fracturing his right wrist trying for a diving catch a few months ago. And sitting out several weeks. Jay, 22 years old, has a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Jay back close to home. Home being Beaumont. He went to Westbrook High School.
22. Man-child. Big, strong kid.
He had 21 homers last year and 413 at-bats for the Reds. He started his career 11 for 19 in the majors. Bowler brings it in and strikes him out looking. Number 2.
This day in Astros history is brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center. Was it really 23 years ago today? By golly, that's a long time. Mike Scott hits the Giants to clinch the National League West, September 25th, 1986. Struck out 13, walked a couple, hit the very first batter of the game, Danny Gladden. Scotty struck out better than 300 that year. The Cy Young Award.
There's strike 1 to Vladimir Valentin.
Yep. And we are celebrating. That's me in the cardigan.
Didn't know you could jump that high.
I think I probably had a 3-inch vertical.
That's pretty impressive stuff. And a cardigan and everything.
Yeah.
268 for Valentin with 2 homers and 8 runs batted in. Not that many guys wearing cardigans can jump like that.
No, not many guys can pull that look off in the big league dugout.
1-2 to Valentin with Juan Francisco on deck.
Whose idea that was? Hey, let's give the guys cardigans. Maybe some galoshes in case they get caught in the rain.
Did you guys do a fireside chat in those? Line into left center field, a hit for Valentin.
Yeah, if you got a shot of the dugout back then, we were smoking pipes and reading books.
Very Mr. Rogers-ish.
like Fred McMurray and My Three Sons. Look at big Charlie Kerfeld.
Oh,
watch! You see Denny. We didn't stay with it long, but there's a great shot. If you stay on that video for a while, you see Denny Walling just kind of comes hopping by the pile, like he wanted no part of the scrum.
Well, Denny had a bad back, so he didn't want to get involved with another back injury. Now Juan Francisco, the third baseman, comes up.
And I do believe Denny Walling went deep in that ball game too. 2-0 win.
Francisco, a rookie, making his second start, has hit .375 with 1 homer, 3 runs batted in. He's had 8 at-bats, 3 hits.
Big power numbers as a minor leaguer. He can hit it a long way, but not particularly disciplined.
Well, he gets this opportunity with Roland not feeling up to par to start at third base. That is his usual position, but the Reds have thought about making him a left fielder to give him some at-bats for the remainder of this year. Made his debut as a pinch hitter against the Astros a couple of weeks ago. This one goes over shortstop into left center field, and he delivers. Back-to-back hits by Valentin and Francisco. I have 2 men on for the Reds, and strike 1 has come from Brian Moeller to the first 7 batters.
Talked about Brian and the success he's had against lefties with that changeup. Here it is again, and this time Francisco stays in the strike zone long enough with that bat. Even though the weight's out on the front foot, does a nice job keeping the hands back. A solid line drive single.
So the Reds stir up trouble, and it's Hannigan batting. Ryan at 266 has 3 bombs. He's driven in 10. This is his 7th start since he came off the disabled list. He had a concussion. Strike to Hannigan. Very good defensive catcher. Chris Coast setting up there, and Hannigan, the number 8 batter, batting in front of Maloney. Realizes he has this opportunity here with 2 men on base to cash in.
Has not been able to take advantage of too many of these opportunities this year. 241 at bats, with just 10 runs driven in.
Quite a change of environment for the Reds, who have just come from Pittsburgh, which hosted the G20 summit, with the Black Hawk helicopters buzzing overhead at PNC Park. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Once you were in the city, you weren't getting out.
Now they're down in the wide open spaces now, where there's been rain this week, and it's been cooler. So we get a rare opportunity to have the roof open. Very close. 2-2.
Little mask wearing union there. Must have been just a wee bit low.
Yeah, Chris reached down. Moeller goes to the rosin bag. It's humid tonight, even though it is cooler than normal. He's thrown 37 pitches. It's 3-2. Dave Clark announced tonight that pitcher Bud Norris has been shut down for the rest of the season. The Astros do not want to put any more innings on Bud. He's thrown the ball well, but they do not want to mess with him and risk an injury. Wilton Lopez gets a shot in the rotation in Philadelphia. Runners break, and it's bounced toward right. Berkman there, tossing back to Moeller, covering. And that's out number 2. Valentin to third, Francisco to second.
Well, tomorrow, outside of the ballpark on Avenidas de las Americas, there will be a Hispanic street festival. It will take place from 2:30 to 5:30, and then here in the ballpark, the first 10,000 fans will take home a Pudge Rodriguez bobblehead. That's courtesy of Dayhill Industries. Information and tickets can be yours at Astros.com. Game time 6:05. Astros and the Reds, game 2 of this 3-game series. There's Pudge. We've kind of captured the essence of Pudge there.
Yeah. It's a nice likeness. Matt Maloney has 2 hits and 9 at bats. He went for that one, and it's strike 1 to the big left-hander. Maloney is the only lefty to start a game for the Reds this year. He debuted back in June. Only the second lefty over a stretch of 236 games to pitch for the Reds. Last year, right-handers started every game until the final game of the year, and then Adam Pettyjohn took the hill for the season finale. But as you've said, they might have this lefty in the rotation regularly next season.
So when's the last lefty they had in there regularly?
You might have our trivia question of the night.
And Eric Milton there a while back.
Yeah. We'll have to do some digging on that. That's ball 1, and it's 1-2. As far as Brian Moeller, who is 37, he's coming to the end of his current contract, but the Astros have an option on his services, and then he has an option as well. So if they extend the option to bring him back, he can decide whether to accept it or decline. Now 2-2.
Yeah, Eric Milton made 26 starts for the Reds in 2006.
That might be your answer right there.
We'll go with him.
Now 3 balls, 2 strikes on Maloney. Red starting pitchers have won 53, losing 62 with a 4.54 ERA.
I can't afford to walk the opposing pitcher here with runners on second and third, so just a good low fastball over the fat part of the plate.
And he fouls it.
You can elevate it if you have to. Just the one thing you don't want to do is goose this ball. Sometimes you get in a situation like this. First, you're mad at yourself that you kind of pitched yourself into this corner going full on the opposing pitcher. But you don't want to try to take something off, goose it, and aim it, and end up making a bad pitch. Go ahead and let it go. Turn it loose for the middle of the strike zone.
But there's ball 4, and the bases are loaded now for Drew Stubbs. Chris Coast out to the mound. First walk for Moeller.
And Brian's walked just 47, had walked just 47 all year prior to that one. And that's one of those, I can't believe I just did that, walks.
We have found Bobby Livingston, who made 10 starts for the Reds as a lefty in 07.
He doesn't count.
Okay.
Not enough. Not enough to qualify under our criteria.
Big cut there by Stubbs. He gets another breaking ball. He got a diet of those as he led off the game, and it's strike 1 to Stubbs. Willie Taveras is under contract for Cincinnati at $4 million for next season. In the dirt, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Stubbs comes up with Valentin at third, Francisco the runner at second, and pitcher Matt Maloney at first, and 2 outs. The Astros will honor their minor league MVPs before the game tomorrow night. They're here tonight. Pass to shortstop, charged by Tejada. He throws quickly to Berkman, safe, and the run scores to make it 2-0 Reds. On a close play at first, Stubbs beats it out for an infield hit and gets RBI number 16.
And just not enough pace on that ground ball with Stubbs' speed. And the walk to the pitcher comes back to bite Bryant. Probably thought he'd got his man there. He got this ground ball. Maybe not able to get enough on the throw while on the move to get the speedy Stubbs.
Valentin scores run number 2, and now it's Paul Janisch. Strike to Janisch, who hit a fly ball to center in the first inning. Janisch 2 for 9 with the bases loaded, coming from Cy Creek High School and Rice University to the big leagues. 26 years old, a 5th-round choice in 04 by the Reds. He pulls this one foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Oh, a big day on several different fronts, as we mentioned earlier. The dedication of the Urban Academy fields this morning, and this afternoon the Astros announced they've signed infielder Chan Jong-moon of Korea to a minor league contract. And he was here along with his parents at the press conference today. He's 18 years old, a native of Seoul. He's been a shortstop, played some third, but Glenn Barker, the scout who signs him, projects him as a major league second baseman. He's the director of Pacific Rim Scouting. Glenn Barker, former Astro player. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Last year, Glenn Barker, scouting the Pacific Rim, signed Taiwanese right-handed pitcher Sha-Jen Lo, and he reached Double-A Corpus Christi this year. We could be seeing him in the big leagues. There's the press conference with Ed Wade and Glenn Barker. And there's the man, Chan Jong-moon. And his interpreter was the other guy. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He'll head for the Florida Instructional League next. And Glenn said it's actually becoming pretty common now for Korean high school kids to sign with major league organizations after high school. Smacked into left field. That'll score Francisco with run number 3, 3-0 Reds on the RBI single by Yanish. It's the 15th RBI for Yanish.
We talked about the Reds playing their best baseball of the year in the last 10 games with runners in scoring position. They're hitting .323 as a club. And now they take advantage again of that walk to the pitcher. And the inning stays alive with this solid line drive single. Now Brian's got to deal with Joey Votto. Down 3 already, and the base is loaded.
55 pitches for Moeller. Moeller will have right knee surgery after the season here in Houston with Dr. David Lindner. That's a knee that he injured way back in April in his second start. He's been dealing with that all season long. And now it's Joey Votto. Moeller struggling here at the outset, trying to get Votto with the bases loaded and 2 down, trailing 3-0. Votto ripped a homer in the first. Big cut, strike 1 to the Canadian-born first baseman. Could be clinching night for the St. Louis Cardinals. They're underway at Colorado, 1-0 Colorado after 1.5. Chicago and San Francisco start later.
And you know, the club to keep an eye on is the Atlanta Braves, just 3 games behind the Rockies in the loss column coming into play tonight. They've got 10 games left, 7 with the Washington Nationals. So you could see the Braves, running off a 9-1 finish or something like that. Still obviously like the Rockies' chances, but they've got Carpenter tonight for the Cardinals, Wainwright tomorrow. The Braves, they're not dead yet.
3.5 back, 3 in the loss column. Florida and San Francisco trailing by 4 now. Now you're right. The Rockies have come so far. They're so close now. But if things keep turning here with Atlanta and Washington playing this weekend and the tough Cardinals in town to play the Rockies, that could really tighten it up.
Yeah, you look at the standings, you look at the games left, and from the outside, you look at the Rockies, feel pretty comfortable about their chances. But if they lose a couple while the Braves win, Jim Tracy's going to have to work hard to make sure they don't tighten up over there.
Now Coast goes out to talk with Moeller.
Well, critical situation here, down 3 already, so they want to make sure they're on the same page and know exactly what they want to do with Votto. And it might not just be this pitch they're talking about. It might be, hey, let's go here to set up here. Let's bust them hard in to go back down the way with a changeup or whatever it is they're contemplating. Sometimes it's not just one pitch, but it's a sequence of pitches.
Votto out into right center field. That'll score 2 to make it 5-0. Hunter Pence gets it back into second, and they're going to try to score the third runner. Throw to the plate, and it gets by Coast. So 3 runs come home on the double by Votto as Giannis scores on that throw to the plate from Tejada, which skipped by Coast. It's now a 5-run second inning and a 6-0 Reds lead.
4 RBI day for Joey Votto, and we're in the second inning. And they made the pitch they wanted to make. They came up and in with a fastball, and Votto was looking in there and really quick to that inside fastball. Good aggressive send by Mark Berry, the third base coach, as he sees Hunter retreating into right center to get that ball. You see an outfielder with his back to you. He's got to take a couple of steps to get into a throwing position. So he keeps on cranking, and it pays off. Giannis with good hustle, moving with the swing from first base.
Brandon Phillips. Foul ball. Out of play for strike 1. Phillips, the 9th Red to bat here in the second inning. Grounded out to short his first time up. There's what you were talking about with Hunter.
Yeah, third base coaches, they'll watch a lot of times, and it's not just where the ball is, but what kind of position is the outfielder in? Is he retreating? Is he going away from you? cutting across.
And Michael Bourne was shading to left center because Votto often hits the ball there. So a big 6-0 Reds lead for Maloney now, with Phillips looking for more.
Yeah, the good news is, for the Astros, there's a lot of baseball to be played. Maloney, a young, untested pitcher who is a fly ball guy who's given up a fair amount of home runs already. So, roof open, ball carrying well. You feel like you got a chance to come back against Maloney, but you got to figure out a way to stop the Reds.
Roll to the left side, Keppinger with a play, and he throws to a stretching Berkman for the third out. The Reds bat around in a 5-run second inning. With 5 hits, they leave a man to build a 6-0 lead. Dodge Grab Live feature. Carlos Lee tells us what he listens to on his iPod. Stay tuned for that. Now the Astros want to whittle away at Matt Maloney, who got them out 1-2-3 in the first inning with this big 6-0 lead for Maloney. Carlos Lee with 26 homers, 98 runs batted in. Takes ball 1, and he's hitting .304. Trying to do what Lance Berkman did in 2007, lead the club in batting average, homers, and runs batted in. And it's a 2-ball, no strike count. Miggy Tejada also opened the night at .304 along with Carlos. Maloney gets a call, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Lee was 3 for 11 against the Cardinals, 2 runs batted in. And they both came in the game Wednesday night, which the Astros won 3-0. Carlos drove in a run with a sac fly in the 6th to make it 2-0, and then his RBI single in the 8th made it 3-0, and the Astros won by that score. He's hitting .331 at home this year. That's the 8th best home average in the league. And he's worked the count full with Hunter Pence and Kazuo Matsui to follow. Straight away in the outfield for Carlos.
Could be 6-1 here very soon. Or not.
Giannis to his right.
You had that begging. I was begging.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the home runs allowed by Maloney. 8.
Well, you figure, 6-0 ball game, 3-2 count. Didn't want to walk him. I thought he just pumped one in there, and he did. But Carlos got on top of it a little bit.
Hunter Pence will try to be the first Astros base runner tonight. 285 for Hunter, 24 homers, 69 runs batted in. And he has scored 74 times. Hunter went 1 for 11 in the Cardinals series. That's strike one to him. .292 hitter against the Reds. This fly ball heads for center field. Through Stubbs backing. 2 down. Stubbs has made some highlight reel catches.
Maloney, we obviously getting our first look at him, but that changeup fastball combination that he works away will serve him well in this ballpark. Getting a lot of fly balls to center field here. This legendary performance is brought to you by Cabot Woodstains. So 11 years after Mike Scott threw his clinching no-hitter, the Astros win again. September 25th, 1997. They clinched the title by beating the Cubs 9-1 in the Dome. 11 years after the '86 clincher, they do it again. Larry Dierker's first year as manager.
Matsui taking ball one. Swings at that one and grounds it outside third base for a 1-1 count on Caswell, a .252 hitter. He's gone deep 7 times, driven in 41 this year. A couple of home runs for Kaz against Cincinnati. He's hitting 21 points higher as a right-handed batter. Two balls and a strike. In that Braves-Nationals game, it's 2-0 Braves, top of the 7th inning, with Javier Vasquez pitching well again. John Lannon is his opponent. 3 balls and a strike. Keppinger's on deck. Fly ball left field. Valentine back. Looking up, Matsui has home run distance. It's a 6-1 game on his 8th of the year. A new major league high for Kazuo Matsui.
Kazuo had quite a power surge here last couple of weeks. His 3rd home run in the last 10 days. For a lot of guys, isn't a big deal, but when you've had 8 all year, that's pretty impressive.
That's a surge.
Careful now. So Derek Lee got hurt.
Yeah.
Had to come out of the game yesterday, beating him up in the dugout after a big hit. Hurt his neck.
Oh boy. Jeff Keppinger takes a look at ball one. Matsui gets the Astros on the board. Keppinger has 7 homers himself, 27 driven in, and a .258 average for the former Red. He's come back to haunt them this season, going 9 for 17 against the Reds with 3 homers. Traded to the Astros by the Reds in April. Ground ball to short. Giannis takes care of the 3rd out. And the Matsui homer makes it Reds 6, Astros 1 after 2.
As we move to the third, you hear us talk about the MD Anderson Cancer Center all the time. In fact, they sponsor our post-game show. Well, we have one of their real success stories with us right now from Victoria, Texas, James Williams, who 10 years ago was diagnosed with lung cancer, given 18 months to live. But he decided to go to MD Anderson Cancer Center for treatment, and talk about what those folks did for you, James.
When I went into MD Anderson, I was actually come up here. I was a terminal patient. I was considered terminal. Actually, they gave me 6 months to 18 months to live. I walk into MD Anderson, and they run the test and everything like that. They were very positive, optimistic, great people. They set up a chemo for me and surgery and my radiation treatment, and that was all 10 years ago. But it was unbelievable because, like I said, I was terminal. I was not going to make it. But those people saved my life, man. I can't tell you what it means.
And at that time, you were expecting to have a grandson born soon, and you said you were not going to have that surgery until your grandson was born, and he's here with you tonight. That's got to be really special.
Yes, it is. It's very special to me. I told the doctors at MD Anderson, I said, I got a grandson coming. I knew it was a boy. I said, I've got to put my eyes on him before I have the surgery. And they said, well, they didn't like that, but they said, okay. And the day he was born, I had to call them, and they made arrangements for the surgery. And here I am. I'm sitting here 10 years later.
Well, congratulations. Good to see you happy and healthy and enjoying an Astros game.
I love this game. I love this team. It's great. I love being here. This is a great park. I love it.
Thanks, James. Appreciate it very much. Best of luck to you. Brownie, back to you.
Such a good attitude. Good to hear from him, Bart. And we'd like to send along our best wishes to Charlie Taylor, who's here. And Charlie was the pitching coach for many years for the Astros at Lexington. He's here to undergo some treatments, and our thoughts and prayers are with him. There's a looper to left field and over the head of Keppinger. That's an opposite field single, but maybe a double for Jay Bruce. Throw from El Caballo, dropped at second by Matsui, and Bruce hustles it into a double. He just kept running hard on that looper to shallow left toward the line.
Now Carlos plays a very deep left field, and that enables him to cut down on some doubles on balls he plays off the wall, but every now and then a speedy base runner and a heads-up base runner could take advantage of his depth on a little doinker like this one. It's good hustle by Bruce. We talked about his power, but he can run too. Big man and a head of steam. Get in the way. I don't want to draw a charge on that fella.
No. 13th double for Jay Bruce. He's aboard for Valentine. He tops one, foul, third base side for strike one. Valentine singled and scored in the Reds' 5-run second inning.
Well, in a different era, he would have been wise to change his name to Valentine. Could have a nice endorsement deal in New York.
There's some sink on that one with Wesley Wright warming up for the Astros now. It's no balls, 2 strikes. The Cleveland Indians are leading the Orioles 3-2 in the top of the 7th at Cleveland, trying to snap an 11-game losing streak for embattled manager Eric Wedge. Fausto Carmona started. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count with Juan Francisco on deck. Nick Markakis hit his 17th home run for the Orioles. Luis Valbuena, number 9 for the Tribe. Ground ball, good play by Berkman. He gets up and beats the batter Valentine to first. Bruce taking third, but an excellent play by Berkman. Ball hit pretty hard the other way by Valentine.
He's got some pop, inside out swing here. Ball's got a little spin on it, and Puma gobbles it up. Races to the bag. Now the infield will have to come in, however. One more run, 90 feet away, down 6-1. Got to try to shut that down.
Francisco has the RBI opportunity. He singled and scored in the second inning. Big cut there, and there's strike one. And the Reds have thoughts of doing what many teams do, think about when a youngster hits so well in the minor leagues. He comes to the big leagues. His position is already called for with Scott Rowland under contract through next year. Maybe move him somewhere else. He was a Southern League All-Star at Carolina, hitting .281 there with 22 homers, 74 runs batted in. Then he was bumped up to AAA Louisville. In 22 games there, he hit .359 with 5 homers, driving in 19. It's 1-1 to Francisco.
And I guess the question is, is he disciplined enough to post solid numbers at the big league level? A lot of times kids come up through the minor league system and their holes never get exposed till they get to this level.
One and two. He might see that pitch again, the way he's swinging. Good movement by Bryan. Taking that pitch down and away from Francisco. Kept it out of his wheelhouse. Francisco last year struck out 123 times, driving in 92. It's been a bugaboo for him.
And he's typically a guy who strikes out a lot at the minor league level and doesn't walk much, and you come to the big leagues and that gets enhanced even more.
Hannigan's on deck. Upstairs, and it's 3-2 now to Francisco.
A lot of times that's what the front office people and scouts are talking about when they're talking about a player not ready yet, not ready for the big leagues. What do you mean he's not ready? Look at his numbers. He hit .320, he drove in 100, whatever they are. So, well, look at the strikeouts, look at the walks, and watch him play and see how many times he goes out of the strike zone.
Ground ball into center field. An RBI single to make it 7-1. Francisco drives in run number 7, and he's 2 for 2 in this game.
This did not look like it's going to happen for Brian Moeller here tonight. That looked like a 3-2 changeup that just hung there about thigh high.
Sharply hit. Moeller's due up second in the bottom of the inning if he can make it that far. Hannigan, the number 8 hitter's up next, with Wesley Wright warming up. Dave Clark's on his way, so that bought some time for Wright, that visit by Coase. And now, after giving up 8 hits and 7 runs, Moeller will be responsible for Francisco at first as he comes out of this game with the score 7-1 Cincinnati. Back in a moment.
A lot of promise in his career. Albert loves those guys that throw pitches in the strike zone. He's always trying to bait him into doing it more often.
Yes, he does.
Bud Norris, as Brownie mentioned earlier, shut down for the season. A pretty heavy workload for him considering what he had done in his past. You look at the innings pitched breakdown on Bud. in his career, 06, 07, 08. He's had some injury problems, so 175 innings this year, doubling what he did last year. The Astros with nothing at stake. Bud coming off a nice solid run of starts. Good idea to just shut him down and make sure everything stays intact.
Wesley Wright 3-4, and he gets a foul ball from Ryan Hannigan. Hannigan grounded out in the second inning. 5.89 ERA for Wesley.
Wesley will not be shutting it down. He'll be going to winter ball after a brief stopover at the Astros Instructional League in Florida. Hone that changeup, make a run at the starting rotation next year is the plan.
It's a 1-1 count. His last outing was Tuesday night against the Cardinals, giving up 2 hits, 1 run, and 1 1/3 innings. His previous 4 trips to the mound before Tuesday night, he had not retired a batter. Lost 2 of those games. Ground ball third on the crack bat. Keppinger to second. Matsui to Berkman. 5-4-3. The Astros turn their 153rd double play. And the Reds settle for 1 run, 2 hits, nobody left, and extend their lead to 7-1. Across the downtown area, looking back toward Minute Maid Park. It's 7-1 inside Minute Maid Park. Fans enjoying a cold one on a Friday night. They've seen the Reds storm out in front with a home run in the first from Joey Votto. Votto had a 2-run double, 3-run double rather, in the 5-run second inning. And then they scored another run here in the top of the third inning to make it 7-1 as Chris Coast leads it off in the home third inning. Coast with 2 homers, 17 runs batted in, has a .225 average. Wesley Wright's on deck. Maloney delivers, and there's strike 1. Maloney in his last start beat Florida on the 17th of September, 3-2, giving up 7 hits, 2 runs in 5 innings. Lined over third, fair ball. It chucks the line. It kicks up off the stands, heads for the left field corner. A double for Chris Coast, number 13. Good start for the Astros here in the home third. Hard hit ball by Coast.
Yeah, Chris likes to lean out, dive to kind of cover that outside corner. Maloney looked like he was trying to throw him something soft, little change up down and away, and the ball stayed on the plate. You see Chris able to lean out and hook it. Down the line she goes. Wesley Wright, well, if he's going to be a starting pitcher, he's going to have to get some at-bats.
Well, he has 3 at-bats this year, 1 hit, no sacrifice bunts. Called on to bunt, he fouls it for strike 1.
Not an easy situation here with Votto coming hard from first base and Chris Coast, the base runner, not a real speedy guy. So Wesley trying to steer that ball towards third base to get Francisco to abandon his post.
As Bud Norris's helmet.
Bud is done, but his helmet lives on.
Upstairs, 1-1. Bud went out on a 3-game winning streak, winding up with 6 wins and 3 losses. His first time in the majors. A 4.53 ERA for Bud, and he struck out 54 and 55 and 2/3 innings.
Somebody got him in the clubhouse the other day. The day he was pitching, he came in after the game. His clothes were taped in a bundle, like wrapped into a tight little ball with 4 or 5 rolls of tape, and just for good measure, slathered with Vaseline as well.
Oh boy,
the rookie hazing season is on.
What did he wear leaving the ballpark?
Probably some, gym shorts or something like that he had in his locker.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, the final road trip of the year is coming up, starting after the Sunday game. Usually that's the time the rookies find themselves wearing some very unusual costumes.
Well, right now the rookies, the one thing I know for sure they're going to do, they're toting around these stuffed animals that Troy Hawkins had made up at the Build-A-Bear. Now, Mark Bombard is not a rookie, even though he's new to the Astros. He's not going to have to carry a bear.
Bunted, and it goes foul for a strikeout of Wesley Wright. And strikeout number 1 for Maloney. And now here's what the Reds did with their rookies coming to Houston wearing those outrageous garish outfits.
Hey, that one guy's dressed like Bronson Arroyo.
Wonder who that guy is.
Where's this, at the hotel?
Yeah,
checking in.
It's at the Westin. And that's the way they were dressed as they came to town. Love that pink hat. That is just a very, very fetching look. And is that Sarah Jessica Parker there? The blonde?
Always looks good with the beard. That's tonight's left-hander. Matt Maloney.
Didn't recognize him. Michael Bourne takes ball 1.
See, we should take that video and give it to the guys down in the control room, and they can pop it up here on the Jumbotron or whatever we call it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And have Maloney, as he comes set, peek back over his left shoulder at that.
That might cause a balk. 1 ball, 1 strike. One of my favorites was Chad Qualls in a black evening gown in the Montreal airport, standing there waiting about 45 minutes to go through customs.
Yeah, Montreal was always the best because you had to go through customs and through the airport.
People would walk by craning their necks, wondering what weird tribal group this was traveling together. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Some towns you go just like that, people don't even bat an eye.
And I would have thought that Montreal was one of them.
Yeah, they're very tolerant. I still remember Ezekiel Estacio in the leopard print skin-tight dress. That was a favorite, too.
That was a good one. One year the guys wore Hooters outfits. Bourne lunges at it and strikes out.
Well, lead-off double, punch out. And when you're down 6 runs, you have to take advantage of these scoring opportunities. Chance for Mickey to be a hero.
And extend his hitting streak to 12 games. He popped up to second in the first inning. Mickey putting on a nice September rush. Yankees lead the Red Sox 6-1 at Yankee Stadium there in the middle of the 5th inning with Jabba Chamberlain pitching against John Lester. Lester lasted just 2 1/3, giving up 8 hits and 5 earned runs.
Well, he's been on quite a roll, too.
Ball 1 to Miggy. Did you see the article about the Yankees and Red Sox? In USA Today, they could both be celebrating. This weekend, the Yankees could clinch the AL East, and the Red Sox could clinch the wild card. So, theoretically, maybe Sunday afternoon, they could both be celebrating. That's weird. Ground ball to shortstop. Giannis throws to first, and that ends the 3rd with no runs a hit and a man stranded after 3, 7-1 Reds. Inning, pitcher Matt Maloney to lead it off. He drew a walk, scored a run in the second inning when the Reds batted around and put a 5 spot on the board. A lot of munching tonight at Minute Maid Park. Wesley Wright got a double play ball from Ryan Hannigan. He throws strike one. Ryan Moeller threw 77 pitches, 49 going for strikes, working 2 1/3 innings, allowing 8 hits, 7 runs, walking 1, fanning 2. No balls, 2 strikes.
One of the few clunkers Brian has had. Talked back in the first inning about how steady he has been this year. Early on, he had a couple real ugly ones, but for the most part, it's been rock solid.
Maloney takes strike 3. So Moeller in the dugout with his thoughts coming into this game with an 8-10 record, a 4.86 ERA, which will certainly go up after those numbers. Just couldn't seem to make the pitches when he needed to in that bat around second inning for the Reds.
Yeah, the walking Maloney there, that'll cause him to lose sleep tonight.
Stubbs looks at ball 1. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI. Alex Rodriguez hit his 28th homer tonight for the Yankees. Victor Martinez, number 22 for the Red Sox. It's 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, they could both celebrate if the Rangers apparently lose all their games this weekend. Red Sox magic number is 3.
Are they in Boston or New York?
They're in New York. The Yankees magic number over the Red Sox is 5. So it would take just the right set of circumstances apparently for that to happen. Well, I guess the Yankees would have to win every game and the Rangers would have to lose every game, and that way the Yankees would clinch and Red Sox would clinch the wild card. Fouled away. Still a 2-ball, 2-strike count. And that season series between the Yankees and Red Sox has undergone quite a turnabout. Yankees have won 6 of the last 7 after dropping their first 8 with the Red Sox. That's a strikeout. Number 2 in a row for Wright. Pretty good start for Wesley. Double play ball and 2 strikeouts. He's faced 3 men and he has 4 outs.
So it's a tremendous ratio. It's just a good darter right there.
Let's get into some Aflac trivia. Bring it right away. All right, here it is. Who's the youngest player to win a batting title?
Okay.
He won it on this date. September 25th. Pretty early wrap-up date. I'm going to go with Al Kaline. But could it be Ty Cobb?
Well, I believe your first answer was correct.
Okay. But Ty Cobb won at a pretty young age, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
3 balls, no strikes to Paul Yanish. And there's a walk to Yanish, bringing up Votto. Votto has a big night going. He homered in the first inning and drove in 3 with a double in the second. 4 RBI game in the 4th inning for Joey Votto. So he's up to 80 runs batted in this year. Grounds to Berkman off his mitt. Fielded by Matsui. Back to Berkman. 3-4-3 play for out number 3. No runs, no hits, and a man stranded. And it's 7-1 Reds. came along and became the youngest.
340 hitter that year, Kaline, 1955, his second full season in the American League. Finished his career with better than 3,000 hits.
He was a tremendous outfielder, too. Lance Berkman pointing out there at the Rosenbag. And it was kicked away from that area by pitcher Matt Maloney. Berkman worked the count full, hitting a fly ball to center field in the first inning. Now there's that Rosenbag. Maloney delivers ball one. Pittsburgh leads the Dodgers 3-1 in Pittsburgh. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Fly ball heads for left. Valentine. One out. Our extraordinary play is brought to you by Land Rover. And it was that ground ball hit to end the top of the inning to Lance Berkman by Joey Votto. Off his mitt, and then Matsui was coming over and made the pickup easily. Right back to Berkman.
Baseball's version of the tip drill. Deflection and Matsui making no assumptions at the ready, providing a little backup.
Carlos Lee grounded out to short in the 2nd inning. Strike one to El Caballo with Hunter Pence on deck. Roy Halladay in Toronto beat Seattle 5-0. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
What if the Blue Jays are going to trade Roy Halladay this winter? They're really inclined to do so at the trade deadline.
Yeah, it probably would make sense for them to explore that avenue. Valentine in left.
I'd take him.
2 outs. Well, there were some impactful trades during this season, and rumor mill has it that with the crop of free agents looking very, very mediocre, less than mediocre, in fact, might be a good deal of trading in the offseason, too. Hunter Pence hit a fly ball to center in the 2nd inning. Mets in Florida are tied 3-3. They're in the last of the 7th at Florida. Jeff Francoeur hit his 13th for New York. Andy Ramirez number 24 for the Fish. Strike to Hunter Pence. Ramirez is hitting .350. He has a 20-point lead over Albert Pujols in the batting race. No balls, 2 strikes. Curveball bounces, and it's 1-2 to Hunter.
That's exactly what Ryan Hannigan wanted. We saw before the pitch. He dropped down a 2 for the curveball, and then took his mitt and smashed it down into the dirt. Said, come on, throw this ball down in the dirt, see if we can get him to chase. Maloney apparently is quite coachable. He can execute a game plan.
Well, as you mentioned that, it brings us to the question that there is a game plan. Every pitcher and catcher has that going out there, but then adjustments have to be made. Sometimes if they're not made quickly, that's disastrous. But sometimes the plan is there in their minds, but they just don't execute. Right?
Well, I think it's, a smart catcher works off of 2 things: a pitcher's strength and a hitter's weaknesses. You try to exploit the weaknesses of the hitter, but if your pitcher doesn't have the right pitches to necessarily do that, you have to still have to go with what the pitcher does best. And depending on the pitcher's stuff, I think some guys will adopt a game-wide game plan. And by that I mean, guys with really outstanding stuff sometimes will leave a pitch in their back pocket. They'll say, I'm going to go out, I'm going to compete with my fastball first time around the order as much as possible, save the off-speed stuff or whatever it is for the next time I see the hitter. And that kind of a game plan has to be open to adjustments depending on how things go. But most pitchers who don't have that overpowering stuff have to use all their pitches early in the game to get big league hitters out. Maloney certainly would qualify as a latter. He's a finesse guy. He can't afford to. I'm not going to use my curveball. I'm not going to use my changeup till the second time around.
3-2.
You can vary in terms of percentages. You know, you can throw a lot of soft stuff early if you're a guy like Maloney, and then if you feel like the hitters are starting to gear to soft stuff, then you can work the fastball in more frequently and fool some hitters with your heater.
Ground ball to third, on through. Francisco didn't play it, and Pence reaches with 2 outs in the inning.
Francisco didn't play it, and he didn't look good trying to play it either. Another reason why they may be contemplating him as an outfielder. Pretty routine ground ball there, and he starts with the glove up and just jabs at it.
And he draws the error.
Scott Rowland makes that play if he leaves his glove in the dugout.
Kazuo Matsui homered in the second inning. One of only 2 Houston hits so far. And he looks at strike 1. Phillies are trailing in Milwaukee 7-2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Phillies really in a bullpen dilemma right now.
I saw a story online a while ago that Ruben Amaro Jr., the general manager, has come out and said Brad Lidge will no longer be the closer.
Really?
I thought it was interesting that it came from Ruben.
Yes. Maloney makes a play on Matsui. And an error, the only blemish on that inning. It's 7-1 Cincinnati. The National League rankings for Michael Bourne. He's first in steals, tied for first in triples, leads in infield hits and in bunt hits. The .360 on base percentage, the most improved in the major leagues after .288 on base percentage last year. Quite an improved version of Michael Bourne in 09.
Yeah, one of the real positive stories for the Astros this year.
Brandon Phillips has bounced out twice. He goes for that pitch from Wesley Wright, and it's fouled away. Strike 1 as the 5th inning gets underway. 7-1 Cincinnati.
All right, let's see that changeup. Break it out. No, they're going down and in.
No balls, 2 strikes. Well, that's one thing Wesley Wright wants to bring to spring training next year, an improved changeup.
And just really hasn't had an opportunity to use it much working out of the pen. Most pitchers try to simplify, rely on 1 or 2 pitches. It's been fastball breaking pitch for him.
1-2. Cliff Lee has absorbed a walloping tonight in Milwaukee, giving up 8 hits and 7 earned runs in 5 innings.
He's finding out that the National League is the superior league.
Right, cuts it in on him and strikes out Phillips. That's number 3 for Wesley.
Final game of the home schedule comes Sunday afternoon at 1:05. The first 10,000 fans here will receive a 2009 team poster. That's courtesy of Academy Sports and Outdoors. Fan Appreciation Day Sunday as well. Great prizes given away all day long. Tickets, prize information can be yours at Astros.com.
Ball 1 to Jay Bruce, who doubled and scored in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2. Prince Fielder hit his 43rd home run tonight for Milwaukee. That ties Mark Reynolds for 2nd behind Albert Pujols in the National League home run race. Prince was tied with Ryan Howard for the RBI lead when the day began.
Atlanta took care of business, beat the Nationals 4-1. So now focus on St. Louis, Colorado. 1-0 game there. Rockies have scored 1 in the bottom of the 1st and managed to make that hold up as they bat in the bottom of the 5th. Just begging for some drama here down the stretch.
Well, there's some drama in Cy Young, where Chris Carpenter is the pitcher for the Cardinals tonight. That's hit toward the right field line and hooking, but staying well fair for a home run for Jay Bruce. Bruce makes it 8-1 Cincinnati. His 2nd extra base hit of the night. It's home run number 19 for Jay Bruce of Beaumont.
He had the hustle double in the 3rd, showing his speed. Now he shows the power as he just drops the head on that inside fastball. So he gets the front leg down and just spins on it. I got the cheering section here somewhere.
Yeah, you know it. Grounded to shortstop. And Tejada comes up with that play to get Valentin 2 outs. 2nd long ball of the night for the Reds. Votto hit 1 in the 1st inning. The Reds had been out homered on the road 90-60 before this game. They now blasted 9 hits to take the 8-1 lead. Juan Francisco has a pair of hits in this game, both of them singles. He scored a run and driven in 1.
Rockies getting a shot in the arm from Aaron Cook tonight. Off the disabled list, 5 shutout innings so far.
Francisco looks at ball 1. Yeah, he's holding a 1-0 lead over Carpenter. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Dodgers' magic number to clinch over the Rockies is 4. Two balls and a strike.
And I think their magic number to clinch the playoff spot is 1, right?
Okay.
This is a wild card.
Right. Into right center field. A 3-hit game for Francisco. Hit number 2 of the inning, and now Ryan Hannigan will bat. He's 0 for 2. There's that final with the Braves winning at Washington, and you see that 1-0 Colorado lead for Aaron Cook over Carpenter. Dodgers trailing 3-1 at Pittsburgh. That could be a loss that they don't want to talk about. Not at Pittsburgh.
Hey, now it's a good pitch. Come on, Mike.
Mike DeMuro, the home plate umpire.
Isn't that Jerry Blancas' buddy?
I think so. From high school days.
He's staying true to himself. He's not calling that low one.
No.
You're going to have to elevate it a little bit.
2-0 the count. Minnesota 5, Kansas City 1 at Kansas City, top of the 5th inning. Michael Kadire hit his 30th. Billy Butler, number 20. for the Royals. 2 balls, 1 strike. So the Twins will have some shots at Detroit now before the end of the season again, and they have a 4-game series coming up with them in a few days. It's going to take the Tigers a little more work to clinch the AL Central. Minnesota has that 1 remaining home series, retiring the Metrodome for baseball. Detroit is trailing the White Sox 2-0 after 6 in Chicago.
Well, if those scores hold up, Twins would be just 2 back. Could have drama after all.
Yeah, there hasn't been much drama this September, has there?
No, not at all.
Probably have to go back several years to find a September like this, with everything pretty well cut and dried. Right, missing there, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes.
On another night, boy, he would be carving these hitters up, because there's plenty of umpires that are going to give you that pitch. Mike DeMuro, as I said, has been consistent. It has not been a pitcher's zone.
Yeah, Jerry Blancas will probably make him putt everything the next time they play then. Gordon Beckham hit his 14th for the White Sox and building that 2-0 lead over Detroit. They're going on 3-2. There's a liner into right center field. Hannigan has a hit fielded by Bourne, and it's 1st and 3rd on the 3rd hit of the inning for the Reds.
Just nice hitting by Hannigan. Wesley made a lot of good pitches in that sequence. Even the base hit, not a bad pitch. Coming a little breaking ball, 3-2, backdoors it off that outside corner down around the knees.
That's 11 hits for the Reds, bringing up the pitcher Maloney. The Astros fell behind with that first inning Votto homer. Now trail by 7.
It was Maloney's plate appearance in the second that really turned this game around. A couple of men on, but 2 outs. And Maloney able to work a walk, and that opened up the floodgates.
0-2. Jake Peavy is shutting out the Tigers tonight for the White Sox. Eddie Bonine drawing the start for Detroit.
You say Jethro Bodine was pitching for Detroit? Talk about some country hardball.
1-2 the count for Wesley. Stubbs on deck.
Out there in his plaid shirt, his rope belt.
Matsui on the outfield grass, flipping to Berkman to get Maloney. And the Reds come up with a run on 3 hits, leaving 2. They lead at 8-1. Gets it quickly onto Matsui, who relays to Berkman. And no problem at all. Doubling up Ryan Hannigan. But that was a quick turn at second by Matsui on the perfect feed from Keppinger.
Yeah, quick feed by Keppinger to get into good fielding position and allowed him to get rid of it in a hurry. Matsui turns that double play nicely.
Now it's Keppinger leading off here in the 5th inning. He grounded a shortstop in the 2nd. This game goes against the grain for the Astros here in September, where they're 8-5 at home with a 3.46 ERA this month. Chris Coast is on deck. Pitcher spot is due up third with the Astros bullpen showing some action. Two balls, no strikes for Maloney. Maloney's thrown 57 pitches tonight. Bounce to the second. Brandon Phillips looking to Joey Votto. 1 out.
Maloney doing a real nice job commanding the outside part of the plate with both his fastball and his changeup. Kind of guy who can take advantage of the hitter's greed. He's not a real hard thrower, so the hitters, you know, I'm sure after the first round of at bats, they come back to the dugout. What do you think? Well, gee, he's not throwing real hard. His fastball doesn't have a lot of movement. You go up there thinking you're going to inflict some damage, and you get a little aggressive and you try to yank the ball, and he's throwing you a little sinkers, a change up, down and away. Give you a nice, comfortable offer.
Chris Coast lined a double right on the left field line, taking strike one there. Maloney delivering, and the count runs to 2-0. Tommy Manziel on deck. Pitcher spot due up next. Towering fly ball. Shortstop Yanish. 2 outs for Maloney. And now it's going to be Manziel pinch hitting for Wright. Wright going 2 2/3 innings tonight, giving up 3 hits, 1 run. He walked 1 and he fanned 3.
Threw the ball well.
Manziel is 1 for 4. Tommy is a pinch hitter, 1 for 1. Got an infield hit to second base for his first major league hit. And he'll get his MVP award tomorrow night before the game, as all the Astros minor leaguers are honored. He was the team MVP for Round Rock. No balls and 2 strikes for Tommy Manziel. There's his father, Tommy, in the light blue shirt. Manziel's from Chalmette, Louisiana. They lost their home after one of the hurricanes, though. Tommy's down on strikes, and that ends the 5th inning with the score 8-1 Reds.
I listen to everything. I listen to everything. I don't have an iPod. I just keep the music on my computer. It's easy. I don't have to carry that much stuff on me.
Carlos Lee in left field as Wilton Lopez warms up.
You don't want to be weighed down by those cumbersome iPods.
What do they weigh? 3/4 of an ounce?
Yeah, especially those little miniature ones.
Yeah.
Right out of James Bond. Well, here's Wilt Lopez. He was working for the 6th time. He was called up at the end of August when Alberto Arias went on the disabled list. No wins, no losses, 10.38 the ERA, but just 8 2/3 innings of work. Shows pretty good movement on a two-seam fastball.
Ball 1 to Stubbs. Stubbs with an RBI single and 3 trips also has scored a run. Lopez a candidate to move into the starting rotation. It's a grounder, slowly hit. Tejada in, and the footwork wasn't quite there for his throw. Stubbs beats it out.
Very similar to the last time. Infield single to short. Part of that big second inning for the Reds. Mickey would have got whistled for traveling here. Just one too many steps.
Yep.
Mindy Rudolph would have come flying across the lane, blowing that whistle.
Yeah. 12 hits for the Reds. Paul Janisch looks at ball 1. He has an RBI single and a walk in this game.
It's Wilton's game, though. He'll get a lot of ground balls if he can keep that two-seamer down, get that good movement. The hitters beat it into the turf.
It's a 1-ball-1-strike count for Lopez. Dave Clark said Wilton was excited when they talked about the possibility that he would move into Bud Norris's spot in the rotation. He hasn't announced it yet. He's leaning toward Lopez. Bouncer past a diving Kappinger into left field. Couple of ground balls and bad results on both for Wilton Lopez. 2 hits, nobody out.
Yeah, a lot of times a pitcher will defend himself or somebody will defend the pitcher saying, gee, you know, he's getting ground balls, but the ground balls are really torched. Well, this is just bad luck for Lopez now on both occasions. The ground ball is short, play was not made, and now this one just has eyes and squirts through the hole between third and short.
Now he's looking for another ground ball right at somebody with Joey Votto. Big night for Votto. 4 runs batted in with a homer, a 3-run double, and then he grounded out.
Giannis and Stubbs have been on base 5 times between them now. Pretty good recipe. Put a lot of traffic on in front of Votto.
Votto takes ball 1. Lopez from Nicaragua was obtained from the Padres on waivers by the Astros this year in April. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Stubbs the runner at second. Giannis on at first. Lopez worked a scoreless inning Monday against the Cardinals. That was his first scoreless outing as an Astro. Looped out towards shallow left. Tejada's got a double play. It's dropped at second. Low throw to Matsui, who couldn't hang on. Stubbs was really dead to rights on that one. I have no idea where he was going, except in the wrong direction.
Youthful enthusiasm, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Secondary lead and a little blooper that he thinks is going to get over Tejada's head. And he is dead man walking as he retreats to second base, but a little bit of a low throw and then the mishandle. Oh, you got to catch that one, Caswell.
Yep.
Oh, my.
Gotta be an error on somebody, doesn't it?
It's got to be an E4.
Okay. Now Phillips. Phillips 0 for 3. And then strike 1. And Drew Stubbs just got that call at 5 minutes before midnight. And he got new life there at second base, but that should have been 2 outs. Play's not made. There is no error attributed on that play. We could count that as a play not made. Now, if you were to reconstruct all the innings of a major league club and give those plays not made How many runs do you think over a major league season?
Boy, that's very, very, very difficult to quantify. That's
It is.
The defense is hard to kind of break down statistically. You talk about fielding percentage and things of that nature. You really have to watch a team play.
Rolled at third. This could be an infield hit. Capture bare hands. No play at all.
This is just this kid here, Lopez, has just got horrible luck tonight. He's made one good pitch after another. He's gotten a series of ground balls and a little blooper, and this is just, I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if he said something mean in the clubhouse, cut somebody off in traffic, whatever it is. His karma is not flowing his way.
Full moon?
Got the moon thing going. Well, we just signed a kid named Moon today. That'd be worth something.
Now here's Bruce. He has a double and a homer, and there's strike one. There was a children's book written many years ago. Don't remember the name of the character, but so-and-so's terrible, no good, very bad day. That's pretty much where Wilton Lopez is right now. Through no fault of his own. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bases loaded, 1 out. Poetic justice. Line drive double play right here.
Line drive right to Puma, step on the bag, double off Phillips, inning over.
It's 2-1 to Jay Bruce with Valentine on deck. Javier Vasquez went the distance in the Braves' 4-1 win at Washington. That was his 3rd complete game. It was a 3-hitter. Braves have won 4 in a row, 12 of 14.
Changeup.
2-2. Well, that again will go into the mix as far as evaluating him to be a starting pitcher soon, with Stubbs, Giannis, and Phillips the base runners. Javier Vasquez won his 15th. And there's a strikeout for Wilton Lopez. 2 outs.
Yeah, that's one way. Just keep it out of play. Nothing bad can happen if you punch him out. I tell you what, I like the way he's going about it here. You can understand if a pitcher going through what he's going through this inning would be kind of stomping around out there and having a woe is me type demeanor, but he's just getting after it.
And it's Valentine now, 1 for 3. Taking ball 1. Line shot into right center field. That'll score a couple for the Reds to make it 10-1. Throw comes back into Matsui on the 2-run single by Valentine, giving him 10 runs batted in.
Yeah, just a tough inning for Lopez. Made a lot of good pitches. Should have been out of it. Elevated 1 and paid the price. Looks to me like his stuff might be better suited for competing against lefties. The way he runs it down and away with that good changeup sinker combination.
Francisco's the batter. We'll find out against this lefty, who is 3 for 3 tonight. Little tap goes to shortstop. Tejada charging, and this time the play is made, and 2-run score on 4 hits with 2 men stranded. It's 10-1 Reds. Time now for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Freezing a swing of Kazuo Matsui, dropping the head of the bat and hitting home run number 8 for a new Major League high in one season. Coors Light Freeze Cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed, Coors Light.
How you hit your backhand winner down the line, Brownie? The way he throws that top hand over.
Yeah, that's good form. Michael Bourne with a little tap, tries for an infield hit here, and he gets it. Phillips realized the only chance he had was to barehand it. He couldn't do that. And the league leader in infield hits picks up another.
Tit for tat.
Yeah.
And all that stuff the Reds threw out there in the top half of the inning, fitting that Michael get a base hit this way to start the bottom half. You watch Phillips, he's coming as hard as he can come, and that makes that play even tougher. Full speed ahead to try to handle that ball with a bare hand. Not an easy chance at all.
42nd infield hit for Bourne. Miguel Tejada is 0 for 2. His 11-game hitting streak on the line tonight. Lance Berkman on deck. Strike one to Miggy.
Tell you one guy who's happy tonight.
Yeah,
Gerald Young.
what does G-Man do?
He's the club record holder in stolen bases. And Michael's not going anywhere in a 10-1 ball game.
Oh yeah. Fly ball to right field, and back in the corner, it's Jay Bruce. Michael went over to tag late, and it's out number 1.
Cardinals scored one in the 7th, 1-1 now. Cardinals and the Rockies.
Lance Berkman has flied out twice tonight.
What's going on in the world of baseball? Anything exciting going on? See a little headline here. John Lester left that game with a line drive off the right knee.
Bouncer up the middle off the glove of Maloney and on through into center field for a hit for Berkman. The ball appeared to have a lot of top spin on it, and it's first and second with one out.
From the right side, he really gets a lot of top hand, and oftentimes that ball has a lot of top spin on it. Let's have a very animated conversation with Joey Votto. I didn't know Lance spoke Canadian. Bilingual.
Carlos Lee, the batter. He's 0 for 2. Talking with Drayton and Denton McLean today. Denton is going to Portugal. He has no clue, he said, on speaking Portuguese. He said it's not Spanish, it's Portuguese. There's ball 1.
He's going for business or a little vacation?
I think it's business, but Drayton brought up the point of how many different languages there are around the world, and he's been a world traveler. And he said he knows very few words of Polish. He goes to Poland quite often. Popped up back behind the dish by Carlos Lee, and then asking Yoshi, the interpreter for Kazuo Matsui, who's Japanese, if he knows any Korean. He said, no, I don't know one word of Korean. So those languages are a lot more different than you might think. He said, if you learn a Spanish-based language, you can adapt a little bit to how it's spoken in Mexico or Spain or some other countries. But he said
Latin, French, Spanish,
right,
Italian, kind of a lot of the same roots.
No transfer between Japanese and Chinese and Korean, he said. Fly ball left field, hit high, hooking. Will it be a fair ball? It is not.
A 10-1 ball game, that would have given the fans something to get fired up about.
Would have given Carlos 101 RBIs.
You need to do a little pudge fist body language work there. We're chopping that thing fair. Chicken sandwiches on the line here. Let's go. Pudge, give us some pudge. He's got a part of it. We just need to get the hands going.
That one had some drama to it. 1-2 the count now. And he fouls it back. The Phillies lining up 3 lefties to face the Astros next week, and then Pedro Martinez, game number 4. That series in Philadelphia is not going to be any day at the beach for the Astros hitters.
Now, in facing that club, especially in that ballpark, it's never a day at the beach for the pitchers. The Astros took care of business last time they saw the Phils.
Yes, they did. Double play ball here. Giannis flipping. Phillips the middleman on a 6-4-3 twin killing to end the Astros 6 with no runs, 2 hits, and a man stranded. 10-1 Reds. By Whataburger and by Jack Daniels. Here in Houston, the Reds are out in front 10-1. We go to the 7th inning. The Reds have out-hit the Astros 15-4. Wilton Lopez had some tough luck in the 6th inning, giving up 2 runs on 4 hits. Ryan Hannigan leads it off against him in the 7th. He's 1 for 3. And gets ball 1. Lopez coming up from Double-A Corpus Christi to join the Astros at the end of August. He throws strike 1 to even the count at 1-1. Here's pitcher number 3 tonight for Dave Clark. Reds trying to beat the Astros for the 8th time in a row this year. One ball, 2 strikes with a pitcher Maloney on deck. The Indians snapped their 11-game losing streak. They won at home over Baltimore 4-2. Fausto Carmona, the winner, is 4-12. Kerry Wood got his 20th save. That one hit him. And Hannigan's on to lead off the 7th.
He gets such good run on his fastball. And sometimes it just gets away from him. Struck that ball at the middle of the plate and it just took off.
Pitcher Maloney comes up in a 10-1 game. He is 0 for 2 with a walk, scored a run. And it's ball 1. Pittsburgh beat the Dodgers 3-1. Donnie Veal, the winner over John Garland. Liner over Tejada into left center. A hit for Maloney. He is now 3 for 12.
And Lopez victimized last inning, and he's right back in the soup here. The hit batter, and then the opposing pitcher gets a knock off him. Maloney's been a big part of it tonight, drawing that walk back in the 2nd. Pitching a fine game. Now he gets a knock. Aldous Chapman could be yours, Brownie. He's a free agent, the kid from Cuba.
Did you read about him today?
I'm reading about him right now.
Okay. We won't interrupt that then. There's ball one. Throws 100 miles per hour, but not very good command of the other stuff other than the fastball, according to some reports. Fly ball to Hunter Pence in shallow right. And we go to Greg Lucas right now.
I think what we have proven tonight so far is the value of campaigning, JD, because right now the 1986 team has 50% of the vote.
Oh, yeah, the voters are smart.
The
wise group.
1998 team has 25%, 1980 17%, and in last place, the team that got to the World Series and had guys like Clemens and Pettit and Bagwell and Biggio, it just goes to show they are in the past. JD is still here and pulling down votes.
And the right answer is that one. 1998 was the best team in Astros history.
You can still vote, however, if you'd like to change the tide.
It's the Billy Hatcher factor. Hatcher's in town here.
Drew Sutton is the pinch hitter here for Paul Janisch. Sutton, a former Astro farmhand, traded for Keppinger. Bounces one up the middle. A hit into center field. Stop sign at third. Mark Berry throwing up that stop for Hannigan on the pinch single by Sutton. Bases loaded, one out.
Mark Berry in a blowout game. Going to play station to station baseball there. That cost Sutton an RBI, but that's good sportsmanship.
Well, here's some more sportsmanship. Kevin Barker pinch hitting for Joey Votto, who had a big night with 4 runs batted in. Have you seen if Greg Lucas is still able to be on with us? We'll ask him if he has seen the JD for manager flyers that are circulating around Houston. Have you seen those yet, Greg?
Yeah, a lot of people have. Some people have forgotten the guidelines that they have to deal with. There's still a lot of Bagwell, Biggio, Osmus votes, and they do not really qualify under the guidelines.
There it is.
That Ed Wade has.
Look at that.
And let me just go on the record. I have nothing to do with this campaign. It's just an Astro fan with the best interest of the team at heart.
It is a grassroots movement, and it's growing.
Yeah, unfortunately, he doesn't really qualify either under the guidelines.
Well, Larry Dierker didn't.
Neither did Dierker, but it's a different general manager.
That worked out pretty well.
Yeah, Ed has come out saying that he wants somebody with managerial experience. And best I can do is a pretty decent run of YMCA basketball.
You can do a pretty good job of second guessing.
Barker with a grounder and Tejada the middleman on a 4-6-3 double play. And it's no runs on 2 hits. And a couple of men left. Slick play up the middle, 10-1 Reds. by Reliant Energy, showing you that slick double play. As Barker hit the ball up the middle, backhanded by Tejada. Tejada taking a flip after it was backhanded by Matsui, and here's a slick play on Matsui's end. Tejada with a quick turn of the feet and shoulders to get squared away for that throw to first.
I think he may have been taking a little liberties out there at second base.
He might have. Kevin Barker stays in to play first base after pinch hitting for Votto. Andrew Sutton's in at shortstop after pinch hitting for Yanish. 10-1 lead for the Reds. They've out-hit the Astros 17-4. Hunter Pence is the batter. On seventh inning. He's 0 for 2. Ground ball to third. And that's out number 1 as Pence is thrown out.
Well, we're about to wrap up the 2009 season, so how about 2010 spring training action? It's just around the corner. 1-800-892-7687, the phone number to call. Or you can go to the website, astros.com/spring travel, spring training travel packages. And it's always fun to come to spring training and see the ball club up close and personal.
Meet the new manager, JD. Have a meet and greet with him.
Yeah. Go to the amusement parks, stand in line for 7 or 8 hours to ride Dumbo.
2 balls, no strikes. The official scorer has given an error to Matsui in the 6th inning when Stubbs should have been doubled off second, but the ball was dropped on the throw from Tejada. 2 balls, 1 strike, and that will affect his fielding percentage. And he was on a club record fielding percentage pace at second base of .993. Billy Doran set the previous record, .992 and '87. So we'll have to see what that is after this game.
How about Billy D for manager?
Well, has he managed in the minor leagues?
I don't believe he has. He's been a major league bench coach.
Right. And he's been well, he's had a lot to do with the minor leagues. What, was he a field coordinator?
Yeah.
Okay. Billy Hatcher, been a major league coach for a long time. He didn't manage in the minors, did he?
I think he may have down in A-ball.
Okay.
And Billy may have too. I don't know for sure.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Matsui fouls it away. He homered in the 2nd inning, grounded out in the 4th. Billy Doran. He's a minor league instructor, field coordinator, director of player development, special assistant to the GM, first base coach. It's a lot of experience. Might not be managing, but still a lot of experience. Line drive to center field, a hit from Matsui. He's 2 for 3 tonight.
It's ironic he made that error on that relatively easy play. He's made so many good plays this year. He's been very sure-handed.
Yeah. Tim Bolgar should be a candidate. He managed effectively in the Astros minor league system. And he's now first base coach with Boston. Jeff Keppinger grounded out twice. But it's easy to throw names out there. 37,710 to paid attendance tonight. There's ball 1. Mets beat Florida with 2 in the 9th, 6-5. Texas leads 5-3 over Tampa Bay in the middle of the 8th inning. Maloney with very good numbers tonight. Shooting for win number 2. It's 2-0. The Reds have had a lot of injuries. 19 players have been on the DL. That's their highest total since '03. Toward the left field corner. Lined by Keppinger off the base of the wall. Here's the throw to second base, holding him to a long single. Well played by Ballantine. The ball was hit like a rocket, too. So it's 1st and 3rd now. 1 out.
All right, the rally is on. 7 in the 7th, and we'll take it from there.
7 runs 7.
Action will start to crank up in the Reds bullpen. Maloney this inning and last starting to elevate a little bit more so than earlier in the ball game. Keppinger wisely drops anchor.
And it's Chris Coast batting. Chris Johnson's on deck. Pitcher Spadu up next. Ball 1 to Coast, who doubled on the left field line in the 3rd inning and popped short of the 5th. Cardinals and Rockies 1-1, top of the 8th in Colorado. Fly ball to center, pushes Stubbs back. Matsui tagging. Here's the catch. He'll waltz home to make it 10-2 on a sac fly by Coast, giving Coast his 18th run batted in. And bringing up Chris Johnson now to pinch hit for Lopez. Johnson sitting 105, 2 hits and 19 at bats, no homers, 1 RBI. Chris is 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter.
Got to be exciting for Maloney to break into the big leagues here with Cincinnati. He's a Ohio kid, Sandusky outside of Columbus.
Yeah. Remember Bruce Bereni?
I do, yeah.
He was an Ohio kid. Pitched well for the Reds for several years. Here's ball 1. Johnson was hit on the hand by a pitch, left hand, in game number 2 of the season for Round Rock. There were tiny fractures in that hand. He missed a few weeks. That really set him back, but he roared through the month of August, hitting .333 at Round Rock. Was hitting well in September and gets his shot here with a big league club. Chris has a strong arm at third base. Ramon Ramirez is warming up for the Reds. Chris has started 5 games at third. He fouls it back, and it's 0-2. And it's tough for a lot of players down through the years, JD. You've been with these guys. You've seen them come up. They've played every day in the minor leagues throughout their entire careers. Now they come to the big leagues, and that's not happening for them anymore.
No, not easy at all. You know, Tommy Manzella had that pinch hit at bat earlier and struck out, but he's only had, I think that was his 5th at bat, and they've come few and far between, so it's very difficult to get any kind of rhythm at all. Plus, you know, you're nervous in the big leagues for the first time. And, even though it's a game you've played your entire life, it just has a little bit different feel. First time you come to the big leagues. By far, the norm is to struggle as opposed to come up and have success right away.
Nervous girlfriend in the white.
Sound like you're writing a screenplay. Okay, nervous girlfriend, enter stage left.
Cue the right center field double. Driving in a run here.
Nervous girlfriend jumps and cheers.
Michael Bourne on deck. In the dirt. Hannigan comes up with it. It's 2-2. Well, pinch hitting is such a difficult job anyway, especially when a player has never really had much experience doing it. And now he's at the very highest level of baseball competition, trying to do something in which he has little experience against pitchers who are among the best in the world. And a strikeout for Maloney. Ends the 7th inning. 1 run, 2 hits, and a man left. After 7, it's 10-2. top fielding percentage teams in the National League. The Pirates have the best percentage at .988. Then it's the Astros, Phillies, and Dodgers, .987, and the Rockies have a .986 fielding percentage. Tim Burdack comes in with a 1-2 record. His ERA is 3.29.
Birdman working on his offseason growth there. Working for the 71st time.
Facing Brandon Phillips.
And loving it.
71 appearances. That is a lot of work. Even if they usually are short appearances, but not always for Tim. Sometimes he goes 2 innings or even more than that. Foul back, and it's 1-1.
See, that's a little annoying there for a pitcher when a guy takes that kind of a swing in a 10-2 ball game.
Yeah. It might be time for a little bow tie pasta dish.
Yeah, maybe. I think the game has changed. Some of that stuff isn't as frowned upon as it used to be.
Bounce first and foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, it can work both ways. Sometimes if guys are coming up in a blowout game trying to pad their stats, they are over anxious to hit pitches, and the pitcher can get them to go for something marginal and get themselves out, as the phrase goes. It'd be fun, though, to see somebody actually get himself out sometime. Hit a ground ball, run out there and field it, and throw to first.
Bugs Bunny could do it.
Foul back. Still a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Ryan Ludwig homered tonight for the Cardinals. That was his 21st of the year. Came off reliever Jose Contreras after Aaron Cook went the first 5. And it's a 1-1 game in Colorado. Bottom of the 8th. Chris Carpenter went the first 7. Now Trevor Miller's in the game. Bouncer, and Jeff Keppinger reaches out and snares it. High throw over Berkman. And Phillips reaches.
Would have been a close play, but official score rules that Phillips would not have beat that, so E5 on Keppinger, allowing Phillips to reach. And Jeff roaming to his left, not able really to set his feet prior to making that throw. Just got under it a little bit.
That's his 8th error.
A little upright.
The Astros fielding percentage suffering a little bit tonight.
Oh, yeah, clearly would have had him. Phillips not really selling out going down the line.
Officer Brad ducking for cover in the Astros dugout. Now we get a pinch runner. Theo Rosales. Adam Rosales, rather, pinch running for Brandon Phillips. Rosales takes over there, and it's Bruce, the batter. Bruce has a double and a homer in 4 trips. Delivers ball 1.
This guy Rosales down here at first base is fun to watch play. He's 100 miles an hour. When he first came up, when we were in town, he had a routine pop-up and just sprinted. About halfway to second base before the ball was caught. I mean, it's a routine little pop-up in the infield. And went sprinting off the field.
Yeah. Runs hard everywhere he goes. Milwaukee leads the Phillies 8-4. They're batting in the bottom of the 8th inning in Milwaukee. It's 3 balls, no strikes. So if things don't go well for the Phillies in Milwaukee, they could clinch against the Astros at home next week. There's a walk to Bruce. First and second, nobody out now for Ballantine. 17 hits for the Reds. That's their 3rd walk. What's on tap with the Astros is brought to you by Bud Light, showing you Justin Lear and Felipe Paulino tomorrow night, 5:30 for Astros Live. Johnny Cueto and Wandy Rodriguez go Sunday with a 12:30 Astros Live time. And Wandy, the only Astro with a shot at pitching 200 innings this year. There's ball 1. He needs 6 1/3 more. Valentin has a pair of hits, 2 runs batted in tonight. Detroit's batting in the top of the ninth, trailing the White Sox 2-0. Wow, the bat took off.
Nice play.
Good play. Yeah.
That is the highlight of the night right there. That is one of the all-time great bat tosses. I mean, that's Olympian. This tremendous bat toss, and then the catch.
Yeah.
This is just incredible. This is the first time all night I've been up on the edge of my seat. Look at this play.
One-handed. What is going on here?
They want the gamer back.
Well, they'll trade it out.
Look at that.
Oh, he got it on his forearm.
Gee, he just gave it up.
Balanced it on his forearm.
Yeah, save the guy behind him and getting one in the coconut. That is just heroic.
That is just an incredible play by that man. 2 balls and a strike. His buddy cannot believe it.
He's like, dude,
he is shocked.
You threw your arm out there. You crazy?
2 balls and 2 strikes. They'll pass another bat down to him.
I'll give him a contract.
It's almost as risky as javelin catchers. Watch this flight.
Let's go out and play some jarts.
Oh, wow.
One-handed.
Nobody makes that play. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And now a long wait until the bat is sent out to him.
He's probably negotiating. I want a Votto. Give me a Votto back.
Struck him out. Valentin might want to give him that bat now. 1 out. There's one more look.
Tremendous concentration. It's almost like he practices bat catching. Yeah, I got this. The guy behind him.
He was umpiring. Strike 1
yes,
Francisco.
You are the man.
He's received 1,400 text messages so far. And he's got to clear his head now. You can tell it's a dizzying experience to be a celebrity here. Francisco to center field. Michael Bourne over. And in for the catch. 2 outs. And Ryan Hannigan's turn is coming up. In this 10-2 game in the 8th inning, Hannigan has a single and he's been hit by a pitch. His agent is calling.
Maybe it's in the top 3 catches of all time right there, along with Larry Dierker's mom catching a flying baseball card through the air.
When was that?
At Astroline down in spring training.
Oh.
I'm sitting up there with Dirk and Milo, and Dirk's mom was down, sitting in the seats down below us, at a table. And Dirk took one of Milo's Hall of Fame cards and just flipped it. And the thing is, you know how a baseball card will flit and flutter through the air. And Dirk's mom, she's sitting there, looks like, Barbara Billingsley on Leave It to Beaver. She's hanging out and just boom, out of midair, just snatched it. Okay, Dirk, now I see where you get your skills.
2 balls, no strikes.
And then there was a fan in Wrigley one time walking along the concourse of the second deck with a baby in his arm. There was a ball fouled back. And without breaking stride, he shifted the baby from one arm to the next and then caught the ball. I mean, perfect rhythm.
Greg Tatum pinch hitting. It's a fly ball to right, and it's caught for the 3rd out. No runs, no hits, 1 error. A walk, 2 men left. That guy's a happy person. He'll get a bat soon with the score 10-2 Reds. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Dusty Baker's making wholesale changes, putting Adam Rosales in the game at shortstop. He has a new second baseman as well. Drew Sutton moves over from shortstop to play second. The new catcher is the guy who pinch hit, Tatum there. Made the last out in the top of the inning. And the pitcher is lefty Pedro Viola. Viola with a 3.60 ERA, making some sweet music out of the Reds bullpen.
Scorecard starts to resemble spring training at this time of the year with all the changes. And to a certain extent, September baseball for teams out of contention like spring training, a chance to take a look at some youngsters. The Reds are doing that with Pedro Viola here. Pretty crisp heater at 96, coming from a little bit of a sneaky short arm delivery.
1-1 for Viola, who pitched 54 times at Louisville, was promoted September 2nd. And it's 1-2 now after Matt Maloney in 5 innings allowed 5 hits, make it 6 hits and 2 runs, but no walks, 4 strikeouts. Chad Parada warming up for Houston. Maloney in a position to be a winner for the second time with the Reds. Viola had a 5.47 ERA at Louisville.
Originally signed by the Giants as an outfielder, and then they realized he had a doctorate of birth certificate. Wasn't quite as young as they thought, so he was released, and Reds snapped him up, liked his arm, made him a pitcher.
There's the bat that was given to that heroic gentleman who made the one-handed catch. He might get another one, a ball here to go with that bat. No, it's over his head.
He can have a game here pretty soon. I noticed they gave him a broken one.
Did they?
Yeah.
Is that the norm?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I saw a little crack in that baby. They might have asked me, you want a new one? You want a game? A lot of fans like the game stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, our buddy Gene Duffy's going to get a nice gift tomorrow at St. Luke's Hospital, but we can't say anything more than that. Line to Rosales. 1 out.
No justice there. Well, maybe there is justice. Bourne got a base hit on a ground ball to second, and one time he hits one on the screws and he's out.
Yep. Miguel Tejada gets this one more chance, it would appear, to extend his hitting streak to 12 games. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Lance Berkman on deck. And he does it. 12-game hitting streak for Tejada, going 1 for 4 in this game. Here's tonight's Stay in the Game Hold of the Day, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. Arthur Rhodes has 218 holds. He is the active leader, more than Alan Embry, Bobby Howery, and David Weathers. Just as these middle relievers keep their team in the game, you can too with Just for Men Hair Color. Lance Berkman is 1 for 3. Looking at ball 1. Carlos Lee on deck. Yankees are leading Boston 9-5. Boston batting in the 8th inning. The Red Sox have scored twice. Phil Hughes on the mound. Boston still batting. Big Papi at his 27th. Foul back toward the seats. And out of play for a 1-1 count. Texas 8, Tampa Bay 3. Top of the 9th at Texas. Chris Davis at his 20th. Ian Kinsler his 30th for the Rangers. Another 30 home run hitting second baseman, Kinsler. Berkman looks at it. It's ball 2. Phillies are batting in the top of the 9th in Milwaukee, trailing the Brewers 8-4. Minnesota leads at Kansas City 8-4. They're in the bottom of the 7th.
The White Sox beat the Tigers 2-0, so Minnesota could move within 2 games of Detroit.
3-1. Colorado's batting in the last of the 9th. Tied 1-1 with St. Louis. Todd Helton is on with a walk. 2.5 game lead for Detroit at the moment over Minnesota. Berkman to left. Looks like a 2-run homer for Lance Berkman. High. It's up on the railroad tracks. Number 24 for Lance. That's 6 homers in his last 12 games. Only one National League player has hit more September and October homers from 05 up until today. That's Lance's 36th home run since 05 in September and October.
Dusty Baker is going to make a move to the pen. The hard throwing lefty has a good arm, but location suffering here. All 3 hitters that have faced him hit the ball sharply. Born right at shortstop. Solid single by Tejada. Now this moonshot by the Puma.
.24 homers, 76 runs batted in for the Puma. And Viola giving up that 48th career homer for Berkman against the Reds. That's the top of all active players. Viola has hit a discordant note for Dusty Baker. We'll be back with a Ramirez is in the game. His first pitch is strike 1 to Carlos Lee. 10-4 Cincinnati after the 2-run homer by Lance Berkman. Brought about the exit of Pedro Viola, who in 1/3 of an inning allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, with no walks, no strikeouts. Ramirez with no decisions has an ERA at 4.15.
He's right-handed. And he's got a lot of hair.
That's on the scouting report.
For Louisville, he was 5-7, 4.39 ERA in 20 starts. 1-0, .162 in 11 relief appearances. Has a good changeup. There it was, but he got hit hard.
Hammered to left. And it goes to the wall as El Caballo moves into second with a double, his 32nd of the year.
1-7 in the 7th. We're going to have to settle for 8 in the 8th.
That'll work. Third straight hit for the Astros now, and it's Hunter Pence. 0 for 3. Ramirez, 27 years old, from Cagua, Aragua, Venezuela. Delivers ball 1. He pitched 5 times for the Reds last year, was at Louisville the balance of the year. Came along with San Diego as a free agent in 2000. He signed and was released. Cincinnati picked him up in 03. Fastball away, takes the count to 2-0. Rockies batting bottom of the 9th inning, tied 1-1 with the Cardinals, and they have runners at first and third with Kyle McClellan on the mound. 1 out, Yorvit Torrealba batting. To right field, headed back Jay Bruce, and he has it on the warning track. 2 outs.
He gets a little bit more of that one, and Dusty might have had to get Cordero warming up in the pen. Visit the official online shop of the Astros at astros.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the astros.com shop.
Kazuo Matsui has homered, singled, and scored twice. He looks at ball 1. Jeff Keppinger's on deck. Ramirez was actually recalled from Louisville between games of a day-night doubleheader on August 31st against the Pirates. Well, the roller goes foul. It's 1-1. Ramirez opened the season as a starter at AAA Louisville. And he got a chance to come up. And Nick Massett was disabled in May. Matsui fouls it away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Made that crack about his hair, but in reality, I'm just insanely jealous to have that lettuce.
Yeah. A lot of us are. After you said that, I was going to ask you who was the pitcher with the longest hair that you can ever remember in a major league game.
I don't know. Probably back in the 70s, I'm guessing, right? Everybody used to wear their hair long.
Sure did.
And the unit, Randy Johnson had that mullet.
That's true.
For a long time.
Matsui fouls it away. Glenn Barker was asked about the Korean player the Astros signed today, Chan Jong-moon, and the type of player he was. He said he's got great speed, left-handed hitter, and very good, skilled player on the infield, knows the game well. So he has kind of a flat swing, but that's typical of Japanese and Asian type players. Fly ball to left. But he really likes him, and that swing can certainly change. 2 runs scoring on 3 hits and a man left, and it's 10-4 Cincinnati after 8. Astros Live, presented by the MD Anderson Cancer Center. Bart Ennis and Allison Footer will have all the analysis and highlights coming your way right after this game. We have changes here for the ninth inning, with the Reds leading at 10-4. They've out hit the Astros 17-9. Cincinnati has stranded 10 runners to Houston's 5. Chad Parado coming out of the bullpen for Houston. He'll be pitcher number 5. Tim Burdack in one inning allowed no hits, no runs, had 1 walk and 1 strikeout.
Chad, a very nice year down at AAA this year. He's only worked 4 times for the big club, 4 1/3 innings. And he's allowed 4 home runs, so throw a goose egg up there and shave a little bit off that bloated ERA.
Now Willie Taveras is the pinch hitter for Ramon Ramirez. Taveras, the former Astro, not playing too much lately. He just came off the disabled list. There's ball 1. 241 for Willie, 1 homer, 15 runs batted in. He's had 399 at bats this year, scoring 55 runs. 1 for 4 as a pinch hitter. It's a 1-ball, 1 strike count. As Willie spins on that one. He's 27 years old, from the Dominican, part of the Astros 05 World Series team. Willie put together a club record 30-game hitting streak in that 05 season.
Well, the Reds were hopeful that Willie could hit at the top of their order, reach base enough to justify hitting at the top of the order and steal a bunch of bases for him. It has not panned out, hitting just 241. Willie doesn't walk much. He's only drawn 18 walks all year, so that's a 276 on base percentage, way below what you're looking for top of the order hitter.
Slaps that one to second base. Matsui is there to get him.
Had a similar experience last year with Corey Patterson. Patterson to hit lead off and do that job for him. And Patterson, with a similar profile, has plenty of speed, but doesn't get on base enough.
Jared Burton's warming up for Cincinnati. Sammy Hervasio for Houston. Well, Drew Stubbs came into this game with a 316 on base average. He's gone 2 for 5, scoring 2 runs. Toronto delivers ball 1. The Rockies won that game, beating the Cardinals 2-1 in the bottom of the 9th inning on a sacrifice fly by Yorvit Torrealba, scoring Troy Tulowitzki.
And that 316 on base percentage for Stubbs, obviously that's not going to get it done over the long haul either, but they're hoping that they can develop a little more patience at the plate.
Toronto throws ball 3. We'll take a look at his throwing motion.
Big Chad, high 3/4 delivery, drives off that backside. Likelihood that anybody ever charges the mound while he's out there?
No.
Nada.
Three balls and 1 strike. With the Rockies win, their magic number for the wild card drops to 6.
Well, it's a big win for them, beating the Cardinals with Chris Carpenter on the mound.
You bet.
Carpenter didn't suffer the loss, but anytime you face Carpenter, that's a tough matchup, and with the pressure that the Braves are applying, it would have been interesting if the Rockies had lost that one. They got Wainwright tomorrow.
Yes, they do. Stubbs is down on strikes, 2 outs. The winning pitcher was Houston Streak. Trevor Miller lost it, even though McClellan gave up the game-winning sac fly. Joey Votto is our Texaco Star Performer of the game. He drove in 4.
He earned this award about 45 minutes into the game. First 2 plate appearances in the first and second inning. Solo home run first, and then a 3-run double in the second. Turning on that high inside fastball.
Now Sutton with a grounder. Sutton's thrown out by Matsui to end the top of the 9th inning with a score 10-4 Reds. Brought to you by Busch Beer and by your Texas Ford dealers. Dusty Baker makes more changes now for the bottom of the ninth inning, bringing in former Astro Willie Taveras, who pinch hit to play center field. Pitcher's Jared Burton. He comes in with a 10-4 lead. And the right-hander will be facing the bottom of the order. He's 1-0 with a 4.86 ERA.
Jared has worked 53 2/3 innings this year, struck out 43, walked 21. Allowed 5 homers. League hits 270 against him. He'll have to battle his former mate, Jeff Keppinger, here. The bottom half of the ninth. The Astros prepare to score 7 runs and send everybody home very excited.
Ooh, wouldn't that be crazy? There's Chris Coast on deck. Keppinger to lead off. Pitcher Spadu up third. Keppinger singled in the 7th inning. Off the left field wall. He's 1 for 3. Ramon Ramirez, 2/3 of an inning, allowed 1 hit, no runs, had no walks, no strikeouts. Burton is pitcher number 4. High ball heads for the right fielder, Jay Bruce, who backs up. 1 pitch, 1 out for Burton. Burton got a win in Cincinnati against the Astros in mid-June. Coming in with his club trailing by a run in the 6th inning. A couple men on base. He got out of that jam. Worked an inning in 2/3. Did not allow a hit. Chris Coast has a double and a sac fly tonight.
Here's a random Miguel Tejada factoid.
Okay.
He's played in 1,571 games this decade. Only 2 major leaguers have played more in a single decade. Pete Rose in the 70s, Brooks Robinson in the 60s.
Ooh, that's a good one. It's 1-1.
Congratulations, Miggy.
He's into it. He comes to play every day. 1-2 the count. Cubs nothing, Giants nothing. They're playing in San Francisco tonight in the bottom of the 4th inning with Carlos Zambrano pitching for Chicago. Tim Lincecum for San Francisco. So what do the Cardinals do? Wait around the clubhouse in Colorado to celebrate if the Cubs lose, or they go back to their hotel?
I imagine they'll watch. I don't know. Maybe they'll go back to the hotel and watch.
Yeah, they might have a viewing party somewhere. San Diego 3, Arizona nothing. They've played 4.5 in Arizona. In the hole, backhanded Rosales. No, he got in front of it and then made a strong throw. He had time to get his body in front of that ball, and that helped him on the throw for out number 2.
Now off the end of the bat, and Rosales quickly over in front of it, and then loads up, makes a good strong throw.
Now Darren Erstad's a pinch hitter for Chad Paranto. 250 as a career pinch hitter with 2 homers, 20 runs batted in. Darren this season is a 197 hitter for 127 at bats. Bounces 1 to second. And it's Sutton over to first, and the Reds have captured the opener of this series, and they've won their 5th in a row. They've taken 9 of their last 11. Dusty Baker's club now leads the Astros by a game and a half. Stay tuned for the MD Anderson postgame show. It's coming up next.